Hello dear kids, how are you? I hope you are fine. So today we are going to start our second chapter of our English textbook. So we have completed our first chapter of English textbook, and also we have completed the first chapter of a grammar book also. So now we are moving on to the next chapter. Chapter number 2 of our textbook. So everyone turn to page number 114, okay, of your textbook. There you could see an activity. So take out your pencil and be ready. We'll do this activity together. So here you could find certain questions, okay, and you have to answer that. You have to do it with me, okay. Now the first question, do you like to travel? So if yes, you have to write yes. If no, you have to write no. So I like traveling. What about you? So I will be writing yes. Okay. So I like traveling. If no, why? That means if you don't like traveling, then just mention the reason. Okay. Maybe you don't like climate change, or maybe you are easy to catch up diseases or something like that. You can mention the reason if you don't like traveling. But most of us like traveling, right? Even I do like traveling. So now, if yes, what do you like about traveling? So now there are total 4 options given. So why you are interested in traveling? So we are going to read all these 4 options, and you have to click on any one of the option, or if there are any more options also, you can click on that also. Okay. Traveling helps me relax. Do you feel so? Yes, if you feel so, like traveling makes you relax, you can tick on that option on your textbook, okay. Now next one, traveling gives me more time with my family. Even I also think so. So I will be ticking that. Traveling gives me more time with my family. So now, traveling enables me to explore new places. Yes, for me it's also correct. Traveling enables me to explore. Like explore means to know about these new places. Now, traveling gives me opportunity to try local cuisines of various places. So, what do you mean by the word cuisine? Cuisine means food. Okay. So, like if we are visiting to different places, we will be tasting their local foods, right? So, cuisine means food. So, if traveling gives you an opportunity to taste local foods of that places, then you can click on that option also. Okay. So you can choose your own options. Now next one, just see, would you ever like to travel alone? If yes, just write yes. Okay. Do you like to travel alone? If yes, you can write yes. Now, do you know what wanderthirst means? Wanderthirst. What is this meaning? Just guess the meaning, okay? We will discuss the meaning of this particular word wanderthirst in the upcoming time. Okay, now just see what do you think about this word, you have to mention, okay. Now, where would you like to travel to and why? So now what you have to do is that you have to mention the place you want to travel and the reason why you want to travel to that place, okay. You have to do this, okay. So this was all about the warm up activity, the activity that we have to do before this poem. So today we are going to learn a poem titled Wanderthirst by the writer, by the poet Gerald Gold. Okay. So now we are going to learn this poem today. Okay. So I will be taking this poem in 2 parts. Okay. So there are total 28 lines in our poem, and I will be taking the first 13 lines today. The next few lines will be taken in the next class. Okay. So now before moving on to study the poem, first we will see who is the poet of this poem, Wanderthirst. Okay. So the spelling of Wanderthirst, Wanderthirst. You have to by heart this spelling. Okay. Very, very important. Now we are going to study about the poet. So this is the picture of the poet Gerald Gold. Okay. So just see his timeline. Timeline means he was born in 1885 and he died in 2nd November 1936. The timeline means from his date of birth to his death date. Okay. Now he is an English writer, he is a journalist, he is a poet, and he is an essayist. So what do you mean by the word essayist? Essayist means someone who write essays. Okay, and journalist means somebody who writes for newspaper. So he was a journalist, a writer, poet and essayist. Okay, and he was brought up in Norwich. So Norwich is a city in England. Okay, so he belongs to England and he was brought up in the city Norwich. And he studied at University College London and Magdalene College, Oxford. Okay, now his famous works include, you don't have to by heart these famous works, but simply I just gave you for your information. Okay, lyrics, On the Nature of Lyric, My Lady's Book, The Happy Tree and Other Poems, The Journey, Odes and Sonnets, Lady Adela, all these are his famous works. Okay, so now we are introduced to the poet of this poem, Gerald Gold. Okay, now we are going to discuss the poem line by line. Okay, before moving on to the stanza divisions, first we will see what this poem is all about. I will just give you a general introduction about this poem. Okay, so this poem is all about our desire to travel. That means everybody likes traveling. So the poet here expresses his urge. Urge means desire. Okay, a strong wish to travel to the different places of earth. So according to the poet, life is like a journey and he does not want to take rest. He wants to undertake the journey until his death. And he feels that he don't want to miss any opportunity to travel. So for him, life is like a journey and he feels like he wants to travel to the different places around the earth. And he feels that he is of the opinion that for him, every day of his life is his last day. He feels like that. That means he feels that he should never miss any opportunity to enjoy his life to the fullest. And now moving on to the setting of this poem. So the setting of the poem takes place in an imaginary world. The poem is set in a world without boundaries. We know that in our normal world, in our real world, we have international boundaries, national boundaries, all those things, right? But here the poem is set in an imaginary world where there is no boundaries. Okay, people can travel from any places to any places without any hurdles, without any worries. That means the person does not need any pass, the person does not need any document to cross the national or international boundaries. He can travel to any part of the world, any part on the earth without any prior permission. So this world is imaginary world. Okay, in normal world, in real world, this particular thing is never going to happen, right? But in Want Earth Thirst, the poem Want Earth Thirst, in imaginary world, people can travel anywhere, okay, without any restrictions. So this was all about general introduction about the poem. Now we are going to learn the poem line by line. Okay, so first I will read the first 4 lines of the poem. So listen to me very carefully, okay. Beyond the east the sunrise, beyond the west the sea, and east and west the Want Earth Thirst that will not let me be. So now you could see certain words like east, west. What this poet is talking about? He is simply talking about east and west. What is the significance of this east and west? Now we will see. Okay. So as we read the first 4 lines, we understood that this particular poem is written in first person narrative. So what do you mean by the first word first person narrative? It means that if the poet himself speaks about his life, his opinions, then that particular kind of narrative is called as first person narrative. So from the first few lines we understood that the poet himself is speaking about his own experience or his own desires, his own wishes. Okay, so the poem is primarily about urge to travel and explore every corner of the earth. Now the poem is written in the first person narrative, hence we understood that the poet is the speaker in the poem. Okay, and in the first 4 lines the poet describes what he see before his eyes. So in the east side he could see the sun rising, that means it's the start of the new day, and on the west side he could see the waves of the sea. So on the east side he could see sun rising, on the west side he could see the sea. the waves of the sea. And whenever see this image, the sun rising and the waves of the sea, it may appear contradictory to each other. There is no comparison. But whenever the poet sees these two images, image of sun rising, image of the waves of the sea, he feels like he should travel. Whenever he sees these two images, he feels like somebody is calling out, somebody is asking him to go and travel. His inner self is asking actually. He wants to travel whenever he sees the particular sun rising image and waves of the sea. So eastern side he could see sun rising and the western side the waves of the sea. Okay. So and he feels that his desire to travel is like a thirst which has to be quenched immediately. For example, what will you do if you feel thirsty? You will immediately drink water, right? So according to the poet, the desire to traveling is like a thirst which has to be quenched. Quenched means satisfied. The word quenched means satisfied. Okay. So it has to be satisfied immediately. That means if you feel like traveling, you should immediately pack your bag and just go for traveling. That's what the poet says. Okay. And poet calls this desire as wander thirst. Now what is the meaning of this particular word wander thirst? Wander thirst means desire to explore. So meaning is given in your textbook, desire to explore. That means desire, the wish to see different places. The wish to see, like the wish to go without any particular direction. That means wherever you want to go, just go without any particular preconceived notion. That means without any further thinking, you should just set out for traveling. That's what the word this word wander thirst means. Okay. Moving on to the next 5 lines. Okay. I will read it for you. It walks in me like madness, dear, to bid me say goodbye, for the sea's call and the stars call, and oh, this call of the sky. So now there is certain words called as madness, seas calling and the sky calling, star calling, all these words. In a real time situation, do you find like stars calling out, or do you find like sky is calling out? No, right? So as I told you in the beginning, it's an imaginary world where poet feels all such things. Okay. So desire to travel does not leave him alone, and he acts like a madman. That means he feels that other people treat him like a madman. That means whenever he meets other people, he will simply talk about his desire to travel. So he feels like he is like a madman, because every time his mind is filled with the urge to travel. So he feels like he is a madman, and it makes him to say goodbye to his family members, his near ones, his dear ones. That means he wants to travel alone. So this particular third point gives us a clue that he does not want to go with his family, he does not want to go with his near ones, but rather he wants to travel alone. So note the point, it is very important. He wants to undertake the journey alone. Okay, and it makes him to say goodbye to all his family members, near and dear ones. And he almost hear the sea is calling him, the stars calling him, the sky is calling. That means this particular sea, star and sky is calling him to come and let's go for a journey. So he is having an irresistible desire. Irresistible means he cannot stop that desire. It is making him to travel, okay, to different places. So he want to see the unseen, he want to know the unknown. That means he feel like the knowledge has to be acquired like by traveling. That means he does not like to sit alone in a place, but rather he want to explore, he want to gain more and more knowledge. That will be only possible if he travels around the world. So he want to see the unseen, he want to know the unknown. Okay, very important points. So now moving on to the next stanza. Okay, I will read it. I know not where the white road runs, nor what the blue hills are, but a man can have the sun for a friend, and for his guide a star. So now we will see what does the lines 10 to 13 means. Okay, the poet himself admits that he is an inexperienced traveler. That means he does not have so much of experience of traveling. He feels that he is an inexperienced traveler. And he can see a white road. Okay. What is the image? White road. He can see a white road in front of him, and that gains his attention. He feels that he should travel on this white road, and he does not know like where will be the destination, where will this white road lead him to, but he feels like he should travel on this white road. Okay, without knowing the destination, without knowing where this white road will lead him to, he just want to travel. He is not worried about that. And he also sees the image of blue hills, and he also want to see blue hills. Okay, he have just read about the blue hills in books or novels, but he haven't seen the blue hills in a real time situation. So he want to see the blue hills. Okay, so he want to travel through white road. He want to travel through white road, and he want to see the blue hills. Okay, so now, so just see the white road and blue hills. Okay, hills that look blue. Okay, so these two images significance happiness. That means white road and blue hills stand for happiness in one's life. That means these two images are the happiness of one's life. That means he considers white road and blue hills as happiness. His happiness is compared to white road and blue hills, and he is in search of happiness. That means poet is in search of happiness. That means in the present condition he is sad, so he is searching happiness in the form of white road and blue hills. Okay, so however he admits that he is an inexperienced traveler, but that does not prevent him from traveling, and people may ask him the question like, how will you travel to the unknown places without any proper map or any direction? So he himself gives an answer. That means he feels that sun will be his friend and star will be his guide. So how sun and star can be his friend and guide, I will tell you right now. That means in the daytime, while looking at the sun, you can identify the directions like east, west, north, south. And in the night time, by looking at the star, you can find out the direction. So he will take the help of sun and the star to travel to the unknown places. So he will consider sun as his friend, he will consider star as his guide. Okay, so he does not need any outside help, he does not need any accompaniment from any of his friends or any of other people, but rather he will just take sun as his friend and star as his guide to travel to far away places. Okay, so we will end at this point, and we will continue like what is his opinion about traveling, and will he reach the end. All these things we will discuss in the last class. Okay, sorry, all this we will discuss in the next class. Okay, now moving on to the new words. While reading this particular few lines, you might have come across certain new words. So the first one is desire. Desire means expect and wish. Okay, means the wish to see new places. Wander thirst means desire to explore. Now bid means command. Now homework for you. So now the homework for you is to write a letter. So imagine that you visited your favorite place and you are writing a letter to your friend describing the beauty of the place and also your experience. So I am sharing the format of informal letter. So this should be the format for writing informal letter. So first there should be the address, then the date, then you can dear and then mention your friend's name, and then you can begin this particular paragraph, the body of the letter with this sentence, and then convey my regards. Then you can write yours sincerely and then your name. Okay, so you have to write an informal letter, not the formal letter, informal letter. Okay, about your favorite place after visiting that, how was your experience. Okay, so Read the particular line from line number 1 to line number 13 3 times at your home and get a signature from your parent. Okay, so we will meet next time. Thank you.